The Abuja Light Rail, Arterial Road N20 or Professor Wole Soyinka Way, the Wike interchange, roads B6 and B12 in the city center, the new residence for Vice President Kashim Shettima, and the arterial road and bridge at Shagari Satellite Quarters in Kwali Area Council. These are just a few of the projects commissioned by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike in commemoration of 1 year in office of the Tinubu administration. And in our focus on the nation's capital, we bring you all the details of these projects. Meanwhile, the Federal Capital Territory Administration's office will be looking towards a change next year, and our guest will be helping us to have that conversation on what direction they should be looking at when it comes to infrastructure projects and security in the nation's capital. And yes, we have an update on the major stories from Nigeria's presidency on our Abuja wrap. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Kayla Magwa. Let's get that update for you. What happened this week in Nigeria's presidency? It's time for Abuja wrap.
President Bola Tinubu has held a private meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa in Johannesburg, South Africa. According to a statement by his special advisor on media, Ajuri Ngelale, before the closed-door meeting, President Ramaphosa thanked President Tinubu for honoring the invitation to attend his inauguration for his second term in office. President Tinubu noted that President Ramaphosa's inaugural speech the day before captured most of the challenges faced by African countries and the need for more collaboration among leaders and citizens to provide solutions. President Ramaphosa was re-elected into office for his second term on Monday the 14th of June 2024, following an agreement for a government of national unity between the African National Congress ANC and the Democratic Alliance. President Bola Tinubu visited the Oba of Lagos, His Majesty Oba Arewa Akiolu, in his palace as part of the president's activities while in Lagos for the Salah holidays. The president arrived at the palace accompanied by his aides and proceeded to have a private meeting with the monarch. Meanwhile, back at his residence, the president received a delegation of the National Assembly led by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The president took the chance to encourage Nigerians to understand the reforms embarked upon by his administration. He also spoke against the negative attitude by some Nigerians and called on Nigerians to embrace the campaign to change the country's value system.
The need to change the rent-seeking minority to be more productive for this economy is very challenging. You still see smuggling and all of economic sabotage. We just have to jointly embrace the campaign to change our value system.
The President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, says Nigeria may not be experiencing banditry today if the country had not changed its anthem in 1978. He made a remark during a visit to the Nigerian Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies. Senator Akpabio highlighted the recent national anthem bill as one of the 10th Assembly's most appealing pieces of legislation. He also mentioned the student loan bill as another significant bill passed by the Assembly. The Federal Executive Council has given approval for the implementation of the 10% youth inclusion quota at all levels of governance. That's according to the Minister of Youth Development, Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim. She was speaking at the African Youth Consultative Forum at the UN House, Abuja. The minister also says a welfare department for youths is to be created in the ministry. No fewer than 40 million people in Nigeria have lost their means of livelihood to droughts. That's according to the Minister of State for Environment, Isiaq Salako, while speaking at an event to mark the 2024 International Environment Day held at the United Nations headquarters in Abuja. Represented by the Director of Pollution Control and Health Environment in the ministry, Mr. Salako says the federal government has embarked on planting trees across 11 most desertification-prone northern states as part of efforts to mitigate further destruction.
Welcome back. He promised he was going to do it when he assumed office, and he has kept his word. The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike commissioned a slew of projects marking the 1 year in office of the Tinubu administration. And we were there for all of it. Areas that felt like never-ending construction sites are now being used by commuters. And a lot of FCT residents, including the president and the vice president, are very pleased. Please watch this.
It's been a busy few weeks for the FCT minister, presenting his one-year scorecard, inspecting infrastructure projects underway, and commissioning those projects in commemoration of the Tinubu administration's 1 year in office, as he promised when he assumed office as FCT minister.
You cannot sleep with your two eyes closed. What used to be in Abuja before is not what is now. We cannot say that we have got it 100% right, and no society is free of crime. No society. We have now started to build 3 terminals for the FCT, 3 terminals, so that you know that if you want to board a bus, if you want to take a taxi, you go to social terminal, you know who is on. And for some of the contractors now come to lobby, give us job, we know that you will pay.
The flag of ceremony of commercial operations of the Abuja Light Rail project is one of the major projects commissioned by the FCT minister. President Bola Tinubu at the commissioning extended the free train ride, which was initially declared for 2 months, to 7 months.
Abuja Light Rail Metro stands as a symbol of progress, connectivity, inclusivity. It signifies our determination to modernize our transportation infrastructure. Today, what we have in the Federal Capital Territory is another piece of evidence that we are a government that delivers on promises.
The Wike interchange is launched with President Bola Tinubu in attendance. The interchange, which has been under construction for 15 years, connects Wike district to Wuse district, a major commercial hub in the nation's capital.
Let me use this local balance. Those of us who are from local area, they say monkey they jump, monkey they jump. Now we are 3 near 3. FCT is performing. FCT is performing. It's because you are giving us tremendous support. All this we are working. It's because of your massive support. When I came to you to say, look, we cannot implement most of these projects if you don't pull us out from TSA. And being whom you are, you said, if this is going to make you to do the projects or do what we want to do, to give Nigerians that renewed hope, then go ahead.
The Arterial Road N20 is also commissioned and named after Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. The road is now known as Professor Wole Soyinka Way. The FCT minister makes a demand of the president, who is also in attendance at the commissioning.
Your Excellency, this road was awarded in 2020. In fact, this is the fastest. It was awarded 2020, not the one that was awarded 15 years ago, 16 years ago. It was awarded 2020 at the cost of 30.6 billion. And luckily, this is the one that we have never had variation. In fact, I don't want to talk politics now, but I do know it will be difficult. It will be difficult for anybody to challenge you in FCT. It will be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Well, I dare say so, because the facts are there. The things are there. It's not about theory now. It's about the reality. You say you will do this. Have you done it? So I will appeal with you that let us recognize one of our own to name this road after him, who has done well. The only Nobel laureate we have that has made Nigeria proud in the world. I recommend that this road should be named Wole Soyinka Way.
On the 7th day of project commissioning by the FCT minister, B6, B12 roads located in the city center was commissioned. The road links the city center to the Umar Musa Yar'Adua Expressway, connecting communities on the airport road, as well as the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. The FCT minister is concerned that the completion of the road expansion is hindered by encroachment of the headquarters of the Ministry of Finance.
Look at a city like this, roads abandoned. But today, with the description of the Executive Secretary, Federal Capital Development Authority, you can see that, you can tell from the airport are coming to the city. And this will, of course, reduce some of the traffic congestions that we always encounter within the metropolis. So thank you very much for your leadership. Well, thank you very much for your support. Mr. President, what does I appeal to you? By your left, which is by my right, Minister of Finance encroached. There's supposed to be a road leading to that side. We are pleaded with them so that we can do that road. We are all working for the same government. We don't want to use force to go and destroy part of the building. But they encroached, and the land belongs to FCT. We gave them, but they encroached on the way. So I want to please plead with Mr. President to talk to them so that we'll be able to complete our side of the road for the interest of the public.
The official residence of the number 2 citizen of Nigeria, Vice President Kashim Shettima, marks the 8th project to be commissioned by the Federal Capital Territory Ministry as part of the commemoration of the first anniversary of President Bola Tinubu. The building is a few meters from the State House and the National Assembly, adjacent to the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. The headquarters of the Department of State Service is behind the complex. Vice President Kashim Shettima is expected to be the first occupier of the structure, and he explains that the completion is a testament of the respect and affection he enjoys from President Bola Tinubu, as he also commends the efforts of the FCT minister.
The President is mightily proud of you. He is proud of your achievements, he is proud of your commitments, and he is proud of your loyalty. And as we commission this state-of-the-art edifice, as the official residence of the Vice President, we are fulfilling a long-standing commitment and reaffirming our unwavering dedication to accountability, transparency, and the efficient utilization of resources for the betterment of our nation. I hold a very strong opinion that abandoning projects after substantial expenditures have been incurred is inherently wasteful, and it is in the best interest of the government and the public to see them through to completion. I therefore once again want to express my gratitude to the FCT administration for taking up the responsibility and feel duty bound to complete this project to avoid the wastage of taxpayers' money.
The area councils are not left out, as the Arterial Road and Bridge at Shagari Satellite Quarters in Kwale Area Council is also commissioned.
What you see today is the renewed hope agenda we are talking about. I'm sure most of you must have lost hope that, well, you take your fate in your hand. Since no government will want you to feel their impact, and so you have to manage and see how you can manage and fend for your people. But because Mr. President has said, do not lose hope, he's here to bring your hope back. And with what he has done in this road today, shows indeed hope is coming back to our people. It is very important that charity must also begin from hope that this road be named Ladi Kwale Road.
These are just a few of the projects commissioned by the FCT minister. However, the Federal Capital Administration is not only focused on roads and bridges. When it comes to security, the FCT minister says his leadership is adopting drone technology to enhance security in the nation's capital. He says he is also exploring opportunities in the agricultural sector to create jobs and address food security challenges.
With my guest this week, we get more insight as to the thinking of the FCT administration as these programs are launched. policy drives they should be thinking about for the next year, and what cooperation the FCT administration needs to better serve residents of Abuja. Our guest today is a public affairs analyst, Mr. Jide Ojo. Mr. Jide Ojo, welcome again to Dateline Abuja.
My pleasure.
The last time we had this type of conversation was when the minister was sworn in.
Yeah.
And it's almost as though you have a crystal ball in your house where you're able to read the future or something, because it's exactly, in fact, down to the projects that he's doing.
Exactly.
You were very spot on there. It's been a year. How do you feel about everything that's happened?
At least for Abuja leg, and putting it in the context of his assignment by President Tinubu, is discharge his responsibility very well. I won't go into the local politics of what's happening in his home state. That one is the one that will sort himself out on that one. But, you know, we had a minister for 8 years in FCT that people are asking themselves, do we really have anybody at the end of affair? For those 8 years, they call him Mr. Integrity. Oh, he's very prudent. Oh, he returns money to Treasury as if there are no projects to be done. But here is a man that knows what to do with money. And we could see that if there is anything that President Tinubu has achieved in his first year in government, at least Wike contributed over 50% to infrastructural development that the president commissioned.
But it hasn't been without its criticism.
Sure.
There are people who believe he's scraping up perfectly good roads. That there are worse roads in the suburbs, that need work. There are places that actually need this construction. He was criticized for, doing all of these work in the city center. That's one criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another criticism that he's faced is on the vice president's house. And the amount of money that's being used. There are write-ups out there. Why didn't they just fix Abuja House, which is where former Vice President Professor Shimbajo was staying before? Why didn't you just fix Abuja House or renovate it or something?
You see, no matter what, you can't work without your head shaking. It's not like a flawless man. And I quite agree. Some roads that are manageable, like the one in Asokoro, many of those roads he went to scrape. I think he just did it to please the elites. That's where his brother governors have their lodges. Even the president, that's where he has his private residence. So I think he just wanted to use the first year to make them say, one of our own, esprit de corps. So he did that because I was wondering, when I went to Asokoro, I saw all these roads that were scraped and all of that. These roads were manageable. You just need some touches here and there, fill the potholes, manage. Then the issue of the vice president's lodge, I don't know the ace. I don't know the rationale, the reason that they spent such quantum sums of money to complete it. Yes, it didn't start with this administration. They say it's taking 14 years or thereabout. It was meant to cost 7 billion. Now it's cost well over 21 billion or thereabout. I don't think that is a priority. In my own estimation, if I were to be the FCT minister, I would not put that as a priority. I think it needs more attention. The satellite communities need better attention than he has given them. The Karus of this world, the Lugbes of this world, the Kubwa of this world, Dawakis, all this, down to, Gwagwalada, to Abaji, to Kuje. These are where the larger population of Abuja resides. And they want to feel the impact. They want to have it easy. They want to also feel like being in the Federal Capital Territory. That's why I think this second year that we have started, it needs to pay more attention to the satellite communities to see that impact of safety and security. But I'm saying even if he recruits more police, and unfortunately we don't have state police yet, so he still has to rely on federal police.
But the Commissioner of Police for the FCT said these border towns, which is where the issue has been, that these border towns are being well policed right now.
Not yet.
We also heard the FCT minister say, look, we're deploying technology. There are drones everywhere, watching the migration, because you are correct. These criminals were migrating into the FCT. But they're saying this narrative has changed because all those places that seemed unpoliced
I will say the narrative may be changing. It has not fully changed. Recently, just not up to a month ago, there was an abduction in Dakwa and in Dawaki. This has.
Well, the CP said it was an attempted abduction. Okay. He said it was an attempted. I know that it's personal for you because Dawaki is,
let's
but he said it was an attempted abduction.
We know scores, about between 10 and 20 people that were abducted. Some were rescued, some were not. So I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty, but suffice to say that we need more security presence, and it needs a coordinated approach. There are also one critical issue about land allocation, issues about revocation, and then the award of land to developers and all of that. It needs to, like Caesars, who have come clean, on this issue. If there are your staff, FCTA staff, who are undermining the integrity of the ages and the land allocation, it needs to get them flushed out and made to face the music, because one problem that FCTA has is issue of land racketeering. It's not a Superman. It needs the cooperation of his junior minister, the Minister of State. He's taking
and the lawmaker that's representing the FCT, because she has been very upset that she's not part of this process, doesn't know what's going on.
Well, that is why he needs to run an inclusive administration. Don't forget, we also have Gisalu, who is Minister of Special Duty, who is a son of the soil. He needs the input of people like that. Of course, indigenous people are not too happy, with his administration yet, but he could do more to grant them, see into their grouses and grievances, and see how you could meet them, fashion a win-win situation with them. But on the whole, he's doing well. We could do better. And then, the biggest room in the world is that of improvement. He can always improve on his performance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jidodo, for being with us on Dateline Abuja. We'll see you in another year where we take stock of what he has done. May God spare our lives. May God spare our lives. Thank you so much for being with us, and good luck with all the work that you do.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Please see these infrastructure as yours and treat them as such, because they are yours. Vandals are our common enemy. And as the police will say, if you see something, say something so they can do something. Remember to let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kayla Magwa. See you next time.